hard not to pick up a newspaper or watch the news and not hear about natural disasters. So in particular, Japan had the tsunami and the earthquake. There have been tornadoes, there have been hurricanes, there have been floods, all sorts of disasters. So the question comes up is, well, what should HR do? Obviously, we have to be involved, but our primary role is to coordinate. There's enough of this, we don't have enough money or resources to manage the entire effort. So I recommend that HR does play a role, but more in coordinating the work, getting workers to work, things like that, and not actually running the whole process. People in operations or supply chain are probably better at the physical aspects. First thing I recommend is you work with the COO, find out what needs to be done and what part you can do in it. Usually there are 3 responsibilities that HR has in the area of a disaster. 1, identify barriers to productivity. Now, this is both during the event and after the event. What are reasons why workers can't be productive? So obviously it might be lack of electricity or lack of an office, but it could also be the trains don't run and they can't get to work, or they have family issues. And so your job is to say, what is it going to take to get workers to be more productive? Next, in many cases, they can't physically get to work, so you have to help work with managers to set up remote work possibilities, to find ways to get them to work, shuttles or advice on how to get to work. And last, what are their issues? What are the things that are bothering them? And most people worry about, well, work-related issues, but some of them might be outside of work-related activities. So if your house is going to be flooded in the next week or 2, you're probably not going to be very productive. We can train or practice for that using if-then scenarios. So we should sit down periodically with the HR staff and say, okay, if an earthquake occurred, if this occurred, if that occurred, how would we handle it? And you should have a plan for each of those items, which would include not only what to do, but possible problems, things that might go wrong, who would do what the resources would be. A company should use all of those resources, and especially supply chain and the things that are really good at this, to manage the entire process. Ours should be limited to how do we get workers to work, how do we find out why they can't work, and provide managers with tools so that they can increase productivity, keep the company going, keeping our customers happy, even though a disaster has occurred.